Gemini, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. I've got something special for you all. I've been doing kind of like a shorter version of my monthly overview, but today, because it's a 4-4 portal, I decided to enter into your reading and I'm going to do the full spread for you all. I'm slowing it down. I feel like I had to rush some of the readings and shorten them as far as even what I was divining with the spread. But I'm going to go for at least for now, for the 4-4 portal, Gemini. I want to do a whole spread for you today with my normal monthly overview and use a little bit less of the peppering of the oracle messages. And I'm using actually a deck I haven't pulled out in a while, the Celtic Tarot. And I want to see what's going on with you all for the month. We have 6 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So you could feel like you're making peace. I'm already getting this download of you kind of cleansing out your root system. Like literally, like I've grown things hydroponically, and whenever you harvest something or something really gets birthed into being, you have to flush out the root first before you pluck it. So there could be some sort of cleansing going on, or has been going on for you around your past. All right, let's see. Just something that I saw when I first came into this reading. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for Gemini. Thank you all for being here too. It's a pleasure to read for you. I just feel like you need a full, thorough read today. And let's do this. We have the first card coming out, 3 of Swords. Okay. You're dealing with some pain around a younger person in your life. Somebody that you don't like how they communicate. Do not like how they communicate. Overall general energy, 10 of Swords. I think you're trying to lay something to rest. You're trying to move past something that you want to be at least distancing yourself from. I feel like you've been kind of tiptoeing back, energetically speaking, that is. And it's almost like the way someone's been communicating with you. You're like, you know what? This is immature. Why am I even communicating with this person? Why am I putting energy into this, into the thinking around this? Why am I letting this, take up real estate in my mind? Now we have the opportunity, the moon. Yeah, it's almost like when we have a lot of subconscious fears and thoughts that come up around communication that is causing us pain. And Spirit is saying, okay, this has been on your mind for a while. Like I said, I got this, like, cleanse the root, pluck, whatever is dead in your life, remove the poison, remove what is dead in your life, whatever that is. And a lot of this it could be a limiting belief. It could be an actual person that is still in your life that is causing pain, upset feelings. It feels like somebody younger than you. Challenge, King of Swords, healthy boundaries. Immediate future, Temperance, balancing out the energy, coming back into balance. All right, being patient with the process around the emotions unfolding. And then what you don't see coming at the bottom of the deck, the Magician, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Pentacles. You are definitely pulling back from your giving nature, Gemini, around a situation because you're like, it's almost like the more... You have a contradiction here in what you don't see coming because you're realizing that you've had power all along of choice over whether you give to something or not. And you're looking at big time this month around a situation that it needs to be more balanced in your life. It needs to have more fairness. Okay. And again, you're making some critical decisions around your own personal truth. I don't know why I'm hearing that Depeche Mode song, Personal Jesus. It's like there's like somebody that you feel like has been thwarting your mind because of everything that they've been saying and doing. Okay? Let's keep going. What is this 10 of Swords energy? What is this 10 of Swords energy? It doesn't feel good. It's like, you know what? I don't know why I'm getting somebody who, you could have somebody who just you had an ending with who's like stalking the hell out of you here. Who's in pain around you that you put up healthy boundaries around. And there's a lot of like unknowns about the fate of this, or it's just somebody that is still you're communicating with that you just want the situation to either get better or just to like walk away completely. Let's see. Oh, that did a 360. It was a Knight of Wands. It's like you don't know if someone's coming or going. Oh, that's coming out. Showed me. See? Seven of Swords. Someone's been deceptive around you. Sneaky. Said to keep it there. Page of Cups. It is a younger person. Somebody who's, you could feel like they've been acting out, sitting in ego. We have the Five of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Seven of Swords, this is an energy you're like, you know what, this is when we actually entertain or allow an energy in that it takes a while to realize that they're not healthy. They're just not healthy in your life, whatever this is. And it's how you take it into the mind, how you approach it, where it just takes over the mind. And I feel like you have an internal battle. You could feel like someone really owes you an apology, Gemini, because of whether you discover that they were lying or they were being deceptive. And Spirit is saying, you know what, whether they owe you an apology or not, you know the truth. And I think what they want you to focus more on is the pain that this has caused. That's at the base of this energy, is you address the pain. It's like when we want someone to do the right thing, but they're incapable. And a big lesson for a lot of us on the path for a hot minute, we'll say this year, has been to recognize and honor the things that hurt us and no longer perpetuating the cycle. You need to close out something that's been very challenging for you because you have someone who's been showing up in a really immature way. And each time you're like, you're allowing it to shock you each time or bother you each time. And it's been one too many times. I want to get the Moon here, which is whatever this is your opportunity. Three of Pentacles. I like that. The Moon. Another moon. Double moon. This is like, it's almost like you're having a hard time seeing your way forward to get on the same page, but you want it to work out. Six of Wands, right? I want to triumph over this. There's been so much like hidden deceptive energy, and we're talking double moon around like really bringing a situation back to balance here. And you're just like, am I ever going to rise above this situation? Are we ever going to get on the same page? Because it's almost like when you just like so much, you could feel like there's so much that you're realizing about somebody that you never saw before. And you're like, how do I stomach this? I mean, it does feel like a betrayal. And this could be like betrayal trust that is hard for you to shake. It's the old story. Right? And it could be something that you're like, all right, how long has this been going on? Well, too long. And I think what Spirit, like I said, is like, what subconscious belief has allowed you to put up with this? Sometimes it's fear of loss, fear of failure. Like you've just invested so much in something, or you feel duty bound or obligated, and or guilt. There's a lot of reasons why we put up with stuff like this. But Spirit's saying, you got to look at this. I know you want harmony, but is this person even capable of producing that? And then you realize, okay, well, what am I working with here? If they're incapable, I actually watched something by young Pueblo coming into this, which is interesting. This energy came out where he said people that are really wounded that we come across or deal with in our families, friends, lovers, their accumulation of painful data actually prevents them from actually coping in a healthy way, responding in a healthy way. And then we take it personally when it's really their wounding, and they're incapable. They're literally incapable of seeing things subjectively, objectively. And I learned something too that was valuable, is there's a big difference between trauma and hardship, and knowing the difference is really critical in a situation. So it almost feels, because you could say, oh, this is just I'm going through a hardship with this. And Spirit might be saying, well, if we see the devil, then this does sound like it could be like a trauma bond that you're trying to overcome. Because I have my cards of like, okay, this is a trauma bond that you're learning from, is the Seven of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Devil. So you have the elements of something that you feel like, for whatever reason, you've told yourself, even though you never know what to expect out of the situation, you're still trying to make it work and bring it together and triumph. And your opportunity is to just take a look at what's underneath that, because it's very deceptive, because you're telling yourself, we'll work it out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right? And I get that. And maybe you're right. But I am seeing here that you're manifesting giving to something that Spirit is saying, are you sure? Because you're being asked to pull back. All right. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, though. I'm going to give you the benefit of that. You unconditionally love this individual. King of Cups. You unconditionally love this individual. But you've learned a lot about your emotional, relational intelligence through this interaction. And you've also learned a lot about what it takes to approach problems, challenges in an emotionally regulated way. That's another thing young Pueblo was talking about, is that we often, the best type of people to communicate with are the ones that can be calm. They can validate. They can make you feel safe, expressing your needs and wants. And it's healing overall. What I'm seeing here is not that. Okay? So that's what emotional relational intelligence will teach you, is if it's not that, can you let go? Can you let go? All right, let's go into the King of Swords. This is the challenge because something is in your mind and like it's taking up a lot of real estate in your air energy, Gemini. And this is you. You're being challenged to learn. This is when like we have like an argument or a power struggle with someone and we're reading the text messages and we're getting all, or we're like staying up at night and we're thinking about what was said, the conversations, what wasn't said, and just getting all, you know what I mean? This is somebody who's a part of your past. This is a watery, this person, you and this person are in a watery world. Okay. I get it now. It's because there's a lot of love here. There's a history here and a lot of love. Oh my. I think you're trying to come into balance with how this makes you feel. And again, we have you, Gemini here, King of Swords, being challenged by this situation. We have the past, right? Nostalgia, memories, the things that keep us connected to people. And then we have King of Cups. This is the other energy. I feel like, actually, I think the challenge is like you expect this person to actually be mature and to bring an open-hearted, vulnerable. This is like, if you can imagine, did I say this the other day to somebody? The Knight of Cups is an energy of like when you were rubbing a dog's belly and they're on their back and they're like revealing themselves. They're vulnerable. They're open. That's the Knight of Cups. And the challenge is I think you expect this person to like basically be open, right? Seven of Swords though is really behind this all. And it's like when we expect people to show up in their vulnerability and yet they don't. And then the disappointment and the hurt and the pain that comes from that, and the disillusionment, the subconscious, like, oh, this is what I want it to be, but this is really the reality. And I think a lot of that eclipse energy is what revealing the truth of something, dynamics that we don't want to see or accept. So I do think that there is like this person does want to come in and like express themselves. Why am I getting that they're having a hard time? They're having a hard time coming toward you. I mean, I would say this is an amazing energy, but it's in the challenge position, and we're clarifying the King of Swords. So it's like when someone says XYZ and they're not speaking about how they really feel. It's like you're like, I know they're not being honest. I know they're not really showing me how they really feel. And it's frustrating because you know what's underneath the moon. You're like, I know, I feel it, I sense it. But why are you saying this and not showing me this? See the difference? And it's frustrating you because you're like, there's so much love underneath all of this, but why am I getting coldness? Right? And so you're responding in kind. You're like, okay, well, if you're not going to be vulnerable, I'm not going to be vulnerable. Yeah. Let's keep going. I don't know why, but Spirit's like, you need to just lay it all out in the tarot today for Gemini. Because a lot of the readings so far for April for the whole zodiac, at least fire and Libra was just short and sweet, but a lot of oracle peppered in. And you're like, no, we got to go deep. We're layering it today, Gemini, because this does feel like a complicated situation. Let's see the immediate future with Temperance. So maybe, let's see. I'm cautiously optimistic for you here that you're going to try to sort some stuff out here. That wants to come out. Knight of Swords is that's kind of edgy. That's going to battle. Knight of Swords with your words. Impassioned. Queen of Wands. We got fire here. There's that disappointment. It's almost like as much as you soften, this person won't. Gosh, they're really stubborn. You're dealing with a very stubborn energy. Gemini, I get it. You're just like, you know what? I think that this situation is tiring you out. And that's why you're like, it's like you're losing faith in a situation because of just the energy that it's contentious. Temperance is being patient when people have their swords drawn and they're feeling a lot of emotion underneath it. And that emotion under it is frustration, disappointment, disillusionment, right? You're feeling discouraged. You're looking at somebody and you're like, you know what? I'm disappointed in you. Again, this feels like somebody younger than you that you expect to actually, or they're acting in an immature way. What I mean by younger, and you're expecting them, you're old enough to actually respond differently here. Why aren't you? So it's like this is difficult communication and having a hard time coming into balance here. I think that your goal this month should be, no matter what you're dealing with here, in the communication around something that's been hurting you and needing it to end, it's time for you. This is what I mean. It's taking up a lot of real estate in your mind, and it's making you like, this is when we have a hard time letting go of like, it's like betrayal, disappointment, and how it festers. And I would first tell you to stop engaging in getting rewounded, which is going back to a situation that's hurting you or expecting someone to make amends when they're not ready to. Because you could be trying to actually heal something where the dust hasn't settled enough yet. Because there's a lot of emotion here underneath this. It's like, it's like bubbling. It's like there's too much heat being applied, right? You got to turn the heat off, let it cool, and then address it. And that's what I'm seeing here, because you've got a quarrel. You got a quarrel. And you are owed an apology, I'm getting here, because of someone's deception. And, that's the thing, too, that you realize is that sometimes, you wait for that from somebody, but what you need to do is just rise to the level of energetic peace and forgiveness within, so it doesn't bother you anymore. Because you may not I think you have this high expectation that someone should feel sorry for how they've treated you, but they're not showing you that, even though they really do love you. And that's so hard. It's so hard. I'm gonna get intuitive whisper about all this. I'm getting like, this is where we need to get a message here. I just want to get a little bit of a oracle message here, Gemini. I'm getting like, my head is buzzing right now. You're being activated here to rise above this. The power of silence. Ooh. Spacious mind and soul, and let your ship set sail. I feel like you're moving on. This is a very Six of Swords energy where you're moving into calmer waters, right? You've been in stormy seas. You see how rough the seas are? Ooh, right? Look at that. And then we have the power of silence, and you needing to build a bridge of silence between you and the situation, right? Finding your inner peace within. And then and opening up. It's like sometimes when we experience friction in any connection in our life, what it does teach us is to go inward and expand in our own sense of inner peace. And not letting, I feel like you've been allowing someone to steal your peace. You are protected. You are safe with my bubble of light. You can proceed with confidence. Yeah. I think that you're being lovingly protected in a situation that's kind of reached like a climactic point. I'm not saying a tower. I feel like it already fell. But this is the aftermath of that. And trying to come out of disappointment. And the almost like I feel like you're angry. You're angry. And it's okay, hun. You have a right to be angry, okay? And your feelings are valid, okay? That's what I'm here to tell you, is your feelings are valid. You have a right to be angry. And we're going to find a way out for you. I'm going to get a few angel numbers as well. Let your ship sail. You're moving out of stormy waters. And I think the power of silence is all you need. It's like, don't engage. Don't draw your sword and attack. This is when you need to just pull back your energy and come back into balance. This is a call to action to move forward. Yeah, don't use your energy to go back to a situation that is going to create more. It's going to churn it more, all right? The sooner you get going, the sooner you will accomplish what you set out to do. Those with patience will eventually reap the rewards of their perseverance. Hope, new beginning, fresh start, purpose, spiritual awakening. All right. And you have 111 here with a 0. You're at a 0 point around a new beginning. I feel like it's been hard for you because there's still a lot that you're dealing with energetically, and that's okay. But just I wouldn't try to get the soothing you want from this person, because it's actually going to make the situation worse. This needs time and space. And this is what I'm getting for a lot of us in the collective who've gone through this Mercury and Venus in retrograde. Almost everybody's had one person in life where you've had a difficult time with that maybe you didn't expect you ever would. But what it's teaching us is to just use the power of silence and go inward, learn what we need to learn, less on trying to counsel, teach the lesson to somebody else who's unwilling to learn or hear it. And then absorb your lesson and rise above the situation. That's what I feel like you're being called to do here. Where's my tarot deck? Did I put it away? No, it's right here. I just set it aside for a minute. Yeah, set this situation aside so you can allow yourself to validate and process your own feelings. Try not to dwell. Try not to dwell. Yeah, 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords over the 4 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, and the Magician. 2 of Swords, Temperance. Wow, you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. Someone with strong Sagittarius placements, Gemini. Queen of Cups. There we have the Queen and King of Cups here. It's trying to get your heart back on board here. It's like reconnecting your heart space and coming back into a balance and having a healthy timeout. That's what it feels like, a healthy timeout. That's what you don't see coming. I think that this is all manifesting towards like this fiery climax around you pulling your energy back and focusing on the things that give back to you, not deplete you. Ultimately, I see you really in tune with your heart space here and reconnecting to that part of you that maybe you had to disconnect from just to cope with the situation that was hurting you. And I feel like you're going to successfully do that. This is you. This is like, I'm not going to try to come back into balance with this person or this situation. I'm going to come back into balance with me because that's where I'm being led and guided, because you are protected here. Okay. And you have a brand new beginning you need to be focusing on, sweetheart, not going back and trying to clean up something that isn't ready to be cleaned up or deal with somebody who they don't sound healthy to me. They don't seem healthy. Like I said, I didn't see the devil, so I'm glad. But that is like, a situation where it's like it's like hitting your head up against the wall, talking to a wall. It's like you're not going to get anywhere with this person in April. It seems like it's time to walk away from all of that and move forward. Now, I want to get one frequency though. Ooh, if I can get this out. Oh, I have that shoved in there. I want to get one overall, just a frequency for you to hold on to moving forward, right? Because you're triumphing over an ending. And you're triumphing over the real estate that it occupied. Yeah, major change and universal love. See, that's what it does. It taps us into this high. And there's 4-4, the portal. So out of this major significant change, this is somebody that, maybe you had in your life for a while. The 10 of Swords is not something that happens quickly. It really is a situation that you're like, I can't fight against the current. It's created too much too much of a storm in my life emotionally. And I think that you're about to enter into this powerful period of openness and expansion. And I think you're just going to be quiet with whatever the situation was. Because right now it's all about making those changes. Like I said, this is about you coming into balance with you now. Okay? Acceptance. We have the card of change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. Appreciate this, okay, Gemini? This is the releasing of the old. It could have been several people that betrayed you, several people that were deceptive, right? Mask-wearing individuals. Okay? It's time to walk away from that and embrace universal love. That's what it teaches us, doesn't it? The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. And that's the thing. Your guides got you. You are protected. See? I think that you're being protected with a bubble of light right now around these situations. And sometimes we sign up for, this is kind of in a, we'll see what happens with Aquarius when I read Aquarius, but at least with Libra too, there's this energy around air signs where it's difficult because see, the thing about air signs, I'm, Libra, we are amazing communicators. Like we get to the root of things. We are so good at seeing other people's perspectives. But sometimes you call in energies that just can't communicate. And that's what the root of this is around somebody who cannot communicate well. And you're just like, oh my God, it's just so, oh. And I get it. It's like, it tests your patience, right? To deal with it. But I think what you're realizing is you're lean on the energies that align with what feels safe to you, what feels nurturing to you, what feels peaceful for you, because you've definitely had energies that were not that. And that's what we're being called to do with this portal. There's like a demarcation line between past, like I'm involved with energies that are such a contrast for me that's draining too much of my energy to, I'm aligned with energies that are like, this is wonderful. It's like they communicate. It's like, it feels healing. It feels aligned. So you really got to know the difference between that because you want to manifest giving opportunities, not taking opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you've got a big open heart here. You're trying to come back into balance and it's time for you to just say no. You're at a crossroads of what you're going to feed and what you're going to deny. Okay? And my friends, knowing the difference is critical in the times in which we live. Let's get a final. You all needed this. You all needed it. The changes are real. It's time to embrace universal love. Okay? I feel ya. I feel ya. Look at that. Palladian activation. I love the Palladian energy because it really is. It's a higher frequency of love, unconditional love, higher consciousness. My first activation as a child, I was 8 years old. I looked up at the Pallades and I had an immediate download. And I just feel so connected to the Palladian star system. A lot of you watching this, Geminis, share that with me, right? Just like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like that's home. So return, if for a lot of you who resonate with what I'm saying here, allow that to fill you up with peace because that's your home. That's your spiritual home. These are like beings that are so ancient. Okay. Coming together, harmony in the heavens, resolution. Resolution, my dears. What does this have to say? Yeah. It's almost like when we have to resolve something, you may get an apology. I don't know. The thing is, I'm not seeing that you're happy with the status quo and the end result here. I feel like it's not an apology. If you do get something, it's not going to be, it's almost like through gritted teeth or a passive aggressive apology. So I would just say, don't focus on getting an apology from anyone this month. Okay. And just allow the Palladians to activate your remembrance, right? There's going to be a beautiful message here from the Palladians. I know it. If I can, this one's a hard deck or a hard booklet. I should just go to here we are. Palladian activation. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to read this because it's the first thing I saw. And we do have the Queen of Cups here in What You Don't See Coming. And you may want to repeat this today for any of you watching this who feel like you have a strong matriarchal energy. Find the Pleiades in the night sky or look at an image online. Then say, "Great Pleiadian guides, thank you for showing me how to heal the matriarchal line and honor the feminine so that I can support a more balanced and evolved form of existence." Some of you have mother wounds, or you have had a wound with a trauma bond with your child. And this is going to be very important for you if you want to do this. It doesn't have to be on 4/4 if you're watching this after, but you may want to go and look up the Pleiadian star system and say, "Thank you for showing me how to heal the matriarchal line and honor the feminine." This is when we overgive. Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles, and it's not balanced. Okay. All right. Pleiadian energy is about coming together in peace and in harmony. You are blessed to receive this gateway, for it is a powerful message of assurance that whatever uncomfortable energy you're experiencing right now will soon be washed away. The Pleiadians are beings who live in complete honor of their planets and their people. They acknowledge that in seeing and connecting with one another, they have an opportunity to see and experience the divine. They also know the consequences of disrespecting others. Oh, that's ultimately what you've been experiencing, being disrespected. It's for this reason that this is no longer possible for them. If you are being challenged by loved ones now, aim to shift the dynamics of this relationship through a loving approach. The lesson you are facing at this time is an opportunity to heal old wounds and operate from a higher state of being. Wow. Changes. Very fascinating reading, Gemini. I really hope this helped you all. Sending you so much love. Namaste.